Hello, welcome to Sound Astrology. My name is Seidel Schultz, and I'm so excited to talk to you today about the sound of the sun. So let me pause because I was gonna go into what it means. Let me talk a little bit about what I mean by the sound of the sun. So I'm not actually talking about the sound of the actual sun. I'm talking about the frequency of the sun and what it means for us, what it is saying for us in our life. Now, when it comes to astrology, this our sun sign is the sign that we typically grew up hearing the most about because culturally it's the thing that's talked about the most. Like when people are like, "What sign are you?" They're always talking about what your sun sign is. So when I listen to astrology, as I have clairaudience, when I am really listening to astrology, I'm listening to what the planets and the signs have to say to us so that we can create a better and clearer and more powerful expression so that we can express ourselves more powerfully and clearly. Okay, so the sun represents where our voice shines in our life. Okay, so there's 12 areas of the natal chart, and I'll be going over each one of those areas. But I want to say the sun is where your voice shines in your life, and it is very important that you see that your voice shines in this area. The reason that we are going over this, the reason that I'm going over this and that I enjoy going over it specifically with clients is because our sun sign represents our mind. It represents how we process things through our mind. It represents our consciousness and how we will allow ourselves to consciously show up. Our heart, the moon represents our heart, or our heart is represented by the moon. Now, when it comes to expression and sound, the sound of our voice, the bass, the frequency of the sound of our voice, like the bass of that, is found in our moon sign. And I will be doing a whole video about this coming up. So when we connect to our sun sign and specifically, I'm going to say specifically the house that our sun sits in, we are able to really claim where our voice is strong in our life. And when we do that, it helps prepare us to step into the vulnerability of our moon sound and the expression of our moon. So our voice is the expressor for our whole soul. It expresses our heart, it expresses our mind, it expresses our spirit, and it expresses our body. If you think about when you get sick, that comes out through your sound. If you're tired, that also comes out through your sound. If you're sad, that comes out through your sound. If you're excited, that comes out through your sound. So if you're talking on the phone with someone, you can't see their face, but you can hear, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can hear you smiling, right? You can hear the joy, you can hear the sadness, even without seeing their face. So you can hear that. You can hear the thoughts the person is having, or the kinds of thoughts that they are having through the tone and the pitch and the weight of their voice. And then obviously, our voice is the expressor for our spirit. So when it comes to our sound, our moon really holds space for the base of that sound. And for it really shows us where our impact is. And I'm like getting a little bit ahead of myself in this video, but I want to share this with you because that is the most vulnerable expression you can make with your sound, is to be in your moon sign. Now, when you are in that sound, that is also the most impactful place that you can be. The most vulnerable equals the most impactful. But in order to get to that place where we're willing to expose parts of us so that we can heal and step into the power of vulnerability, which I'll go into in that video, in order to do that, we first must need to claim what we're already good at and be really comfortable in this place. Oh my gosh, this is just like, this is so exciting. This is just so exciting. So, that is why we are focusing on the sun. And that's why I wanted to do this video and really focus on the sun sign. Because I want you to see where your voice is already shining in your life, and then step into a place where you're more powerfully expressing your voice. Okay. Let's see. I want to cover this just really quick. So we're going to take a look at each one of the houses and where the sun is sitting in each of that, because that shows us the area of our life that our voice really shines in. Now, what I'm also going to say is this. It is that area, and then the sign that our sun is in colors how it shows up in our life. Okay, so number one, the house that our sun sits in shows us the area of our life that our voice shines in. Number two, the sign that our sun sits in shows us the or it gives us the flavor of how it shows up, or how we can best show up in that area of our life. So in this video, I'm not going to go over all 12 signs for all 12 areas of your life. If you're interested in understanding, like with detailed clarity, what this means in your life, if you're struggling, which I'm going to go over just a second, if you're struggling to see the expression of that in your life, go ahead and click the link below and book a one-on-one session with me, and let's talk about your voice showing up in your life so that you can really start speaking up more in your life. Okay, so I'm going to say this last thing, and then we're going to jump into talking about the houses. What if I share the house that your sun is sitting in, and you're not seeing your voice shining in that area of your life? There's a lot of players in this, okay? So one of the players is the relationship your sun has with other planets in your chart. So if it has some tougher relationships with other planets, it can make it harder for it to express. Whether that's like two planets, another planet sitting right next to yours, like Chiron, because Chiron is our wound, right? So if that's sitting next to your sun, it can make it harder for you to experience that expression. If it's aspecting another planet further out in your chart, whether that's a trine, whether that's a quincux, whether that's sextile, whether that's in opposition or squaring, like regardless of what it is, it can still cause a little bit of a struggle, depending on how it's showing up in your life, and what your sun is saying, and what the other planet, like how they're communicating with each other, which is really what an aspect is. An aspect is how two planets are communicating together. So there is a possibility. So I do want you to be really aware that I will cover these houses, and there might be still some struggle for you to show up in this area of your life and really see your voice shining. If that's a case, there's a lot of really fantastic things that we can do, and things that I can walk you through to help you get into that place where you can see yourself being able to speak up more. So let's get started. Let me share my screen, and so that we can take a look at a couple of different charts. Okay, so here we have, well, in this chart, the sun is sitting in her fourth house. Again, like always, I'm going to just go through, and we're going to do house by house, and then I will switch to the next slide or screen so that you can see the house in a different. And again, where the sun is in Aries, where the sun is, that is going to flavor it. So it's like, I say it like this. The house, if the houses represent water and water in different areas of our life, then the signs are going to represent like what flavor of liquid IV that you put in your bottle, right? I say that because I just really love liquid IV. Not a sponsor. Hashtag not a sponsor, but seriously love it. Okay, so that is going to make a difference. But again, I'm not going to be covering that. So in this video today. So the sun in the first house, this really has so much to do with your body, right? So the first house is body, character, and is really yourself. So how could it possibly look showing up with your body? It's really interesting to like listen and to share this perspective because with the sun shining in the first house, it's almost like, okay, letting your body have a voice and like really hearing that voice with your body and being able to communicate well with your body. That's what I'm hearing as I listen to the sun in the first house. This really is about speaking up and speaking to your body and listening to your body. Okay. The sun in the second house, that is about worth, value, your value, and then also your money. Now, I'm going to say this, and I say this often in my Sound of the Signs classes. Money reflects where we're at with our value. So money is here, value is here. So our money is going to reflect how we are expressing our value. So if we are spending money really fast and we can't keep it, it's reflecting this, I can't hold on to my value and I'm not comfortable like consistently holding that value. Now, if we're not making much money, we're not seeing our value. So a lot of like spending a lot of money, it's like really like we get our value, but then we can't hold on to it. Right? It's like, all these blessings are coming in, but I'm not really comfortable with it. Versus like, I'm not bringing it in at all. So it's like, I'm not really connecting to my value, right? So with the sun being here, yes, we can say it's being good with money. And like, we're really able to speak up. Like we love talking about money. We love talking to money. Like, it just like, I'm gonna say talking to money, like, and I'm talking about the relationship that we have with money. But it also can very much reflect our value, like really being passionate and having a lot to say and speaking up about our personal value, about someone else's value, and sharing that and holding that. Okay, the sun in the third house. This is where these people are really good at communication. Okay, so the communication in their life. Now, again, I'm saying like this doesn't mean that there isn't a space of learning. There is always a space of learning in every one of these houses, and as you step into this place of communication, so as you step into this place of communication with your body, you will then hear more and start speaking up more with your body and hearing from your body, right? And the same thing with money. I'm speaking more to money. I'm speaking more to my value. Like I'm understanding my value and I'm really communicating my value better. Right? So this, again, this is all about speaking up. And I know it's the sun. I know we're not talking about Mercury here, and Mercury rules communication. And I will like, I can't remember if I have a video on that or not. I'm going to check. But Mercury is what we value in communication. This is really about speaking up. So I want you to see where your sun is sitting in your house. And then I want you to tell yourself, this is where I am most successful speaking up. And then when you latch onto that and like you really get that mindset, you really get that belief in your heart, you'll start seeing yourself speaking up more and more in that area. And as you do that, it starts to bleed over into all of the other areas of your life, which is really fantastic. So again, coming back to the sun in the third house, this is really shining in communication, right? So that's communication is just really big. So it's like, okay, I shine in communication, I'm going to allow myself to communicate with other people. I'm going to allow myself to really communicate with myself or with my higher power. And I'm going to allow my voice to shine in this area. So again, I'm allowing my voice to shine in this area of my life. That is another great affirmation. The sun here, we have in this chart specifically, the sun being in the fourth house. Now I'm going to share just a little bit of the flavor of that. So the fourth house is, like I've been talking about, being home. It's at home. Now, this is not the chart of someone I know specifically, but I do know someone specifically, and their sun is in the fourth house, and they're very quiet. They're reserved in most of their life, except for at home. And at home, they do speak up the most, and that's not always the case. Because people might say, well, duh, it's at home. It's where they feel most comfortable, but not everybody feels the most comfortable at home. Not everybody speaks up the most at home. But here in the fourth house, they really speak up at home. So here we have the sun in the fourth house speaking up at home and being very direct about it and really creating that movement in the home with their words and with their communication, right? So that is an example of the flavor of the sign in the house. Now we have the fifth house, and the fifth house is all about creation. So when I say that, this could be with your children, because we create our children, right? This could be with art. This can be with music. This can be with creating programs. I also really have heard so much that, like, as I've listened to the natal chart, the fifth house really being marketing. So this can be really like, I'm really good at marketing. I'm really good at creating. And creating doesn't have to be something like artistic. It could be creating a clean room. It could be creating an outfit, right? It just is, the basis of it is creation. So how am I good at creating? How is my voice shine in creation? Okay, and here we have the second chart. Oh my gosh, and the sun is again in Aries. I totally did not do that on purpose. So here we have the sixth house. Now, the sixth house is the house of the daily actions. It's also our health too. Our health can be like located in this area, or we can look at the sixth house as an area where we can understand better how we can approach our health. But again, this is like our daily activities. So our chores, what we need to do every day for our business, what we need to do every day to keep our maintenance for the thing that we want to do. So this would be like our regular habits. So the sixth house here, this is like my voice shines in those daily habits. My voice shines as and like keeping that structure in my day, or my voice shines with my health. My voice shines in that structure that's needing to get done every day for my business, or whatever it may be. But again, this is like those daily tasks that need to get done. And with that Aries there, it's like really feeling that straightforwardness and experiencing that straightforwardness when they are speaking up, and in the way that their voice is shining. So if I take a listen to this sun specifically in Aries, it really is, I'm just listening to it. It really is actually yours. This one really feels so much like health, which is why I keep going back to health, because I don't think that I've really touched on that a whole lot with the sixth house in any of my other videos. But this just feels so much like health, and like my voice shines in my health, and I take and it feels like very much like I take my health seriously, and I'm showing up for myself in that health area of my life, and really speaking up in that and like doing the things that need to be done every day to keep myself healthy. Okay, then we have Taurus in the seventh house, or not Taurus. Well, there is Taurus in the seventh house. I mean, the sun in the seventh house. So this is like my voice shines in one-on-one relationships. It's easiest for me to speak up in these intimate areas. So again, if we kind of come back here and look at the sun in the sixth house in the body or with health, it's like it's easiest for me to speak up with my own health, which is a great asset. So back to the seventh house, this is like our intimate relationships. So that's not just with our spouse. That's with our self, our intimate relationship with ourself. That could be in intimate relationships that we have with friends. It's just about having intimacy and really being able to speak up and allow our voice to shine in that area of our life. So I'm going to say again, as a reminder, look at this area of your life. See how your voice is shining there now. How are you experiencing this greater ease of speaking up? And then continue to encourage yourself to speak up in that area of your life. Share yourself in a vulnerable way so that you can then step into this place of sharing your heart, stepping into your moon sign. Okay, Taurus, or the sun in the eighth house. The eighth house really is this place of transformation. It's a place of death and rebirth. So for those that might be like have their sun sign in the eighth house and they're a nurse and they work they work with hospice. They're really helping people transition from this place of like alive to death. Like there is that transformation. And it's such a powerful gift. It's such a very, very powerful gift. I just want to look at this one chart because I believe, and I'm not going to pull it up on my screen. Yes. So this is really fantastic. I do know I'm sharing this from a personal conversation I have had with someone, and their sun sign is in the eighth house. I just wanted to confirm. Their sun is in the eighth house. They do work as a nurse and they do help people transition. And I remember when I was speaking with her about this, she was just like, I really question if I'm making a difference. And I could say with absolute certainty that she is absolutely making a difference in these people's lives. And she was designed to make a difference. She was designed to help these people transition and to really speak up for them as they transition into this space. And as we discussed that, she cried because she had been wondering if she was making a difference in their life at all. And I could see that she absolutely was. She could feel that as I spoke truth. She could feel the truth of that. And it gave her more, I don't want to say confidence, but it was encouragement to continue doing what she's doing and the knowledge that she is making a difference. So I wanted to take a look at that too, like where your sun is in these areas, you're making a difference. Your voice matters. It is important that you see this and that you continue to speak up, or you step into claiming and owning, my voice is powerful in this area of my life. My voice naturally shines in this area of my life. Okay, we have got the sun in the ninth house, and the ninth house is education. It's learning. It's religion. It's long distance travel, but it really has everything to do with learning. I think that's like the big scope of it, right? And like and also like broader communication, right? So if we have this here, I just want to say your voice is so amazing at learning things and then turning around and teaching them. I just want to pause because I want that to sink in. Your voice is good at learning. And I know that sounds weird. But your voice really is good at learning and then speaking, so that you can help others then learn. So claim that space. Claim that space. Claim that you are good at learning. Claim that you are good at speaking up and sharing how to so that you can help others learn, right? Your sun in the 10th house. Now, the sun in the 10th house, because the 10th house is business, it's our job, it's our public self. So I'm saying you shine at work. You shine in your business. And if you're not right now, I want you to claim that. I want you to say, you know what? Actually, I was designed to shine at work. I was designed to shine in my business. And I'm going to allow myself that permission to show up and to let my voice be heard at work. I'm going to show up and let my voice be heard publicly. I'm going to show up and let my voice be heard in my business. Like, let yourself experience that. Speak up and see the power that your voice has, because it does have natural power in this area of your life. Okay, the 11th house is the house of groups, it's like the zoomed out. So the 11th house is like the zoomed out. If we've got wants and needs, those are like immediate and close to me. Hopes and dreams, which is the 11th house, represents groups. Hopes and dreams. It's like a little bit like I sit back further from the camera for the 11th house, but like it really is a space of like a zoomed out view of our life. And so I want to say that your voice shines in this zoomed out area of your life. It shines with your hopes and dreams. It shines in groups of people. It shines with these friends that are maybe not close, like we have said the 7th house would be close, intimate friends. This is like friends that you, like your acquaintances or friends that you talk to occasionally. And I want to say, like, the thing that's just standing out to me the most here in this area is that we might not see it, because the effect is so far out and we are kind of removed from it, or we can be removed from it. But it's important that we see that our voice shines, that our voice makes a difference. Your voice, those that have it in the 11th house, your voice makes a difference in the lives of people that you are not intimate with. I'm like laying this smack down without it actually being a smackdown, but like your voice matters and it makes a difference. And I want you to speak up in these areas of your life. Okay, stepping back, let's go to the 12th house. I just heard one question about hopes and dreams. When it comes to hopes and dreams and zooming out, I want you to know that it's like, the thing that I hear the most is like actually really good at manifesting your hopes and dreams. So continue to speak up. This is why people are like, well, I just can speak it and it comes into existence. Yeah, exactly. Your sun is like, for those that have their sun in the 11th house, right? Because there's a lot of things that play into this, but you can really speak that into existence. So see that and honor it and keep speaking your hopes and dreams. Okay. And then we have the 12th house. Now, the 12th house is our personal relationship with the universe. It's our personal relationship with our higher power, our personal relationship with God. Okay. So I'm going to say this. If your sun is in the 12th house, it is crucial that you are communicating with God. It is crucial that you are communicating with your higher power. It will be a massive struggle for your voice to shine, for you to speak up in any area of your life. If you're not speaking up in this area, if you're not communicating with God regularly, period. Because the 12th house feels hidden, and people, like, as I learned it, is like this hidden. It's like this almost it's not the cave energy, because that is the 8th house, but it's cave-like. It's removed. Pisces rules the 12th house, and so it's kind of like, and Pisces is heaven, and so it's like this. mystical place that's kind of hard to put into words. The 12th house is your subconscious, and so obviously we aren't consciously communicating our subconscious, because then it would be our conscious that we're communicating, right? Um, unless we're like in meditation and stuff like that. But and this is why I say, if your sun is here, it is crucial for you to have this communication with your higher power, because as you do that, it will then show up in all of the other areas. And I say that, and I'm like, I'm witnessing to you that this is the case. My sun is in the 12th house. I became more comfortable expressing myself and speaking up, and I am still more comfortable stepping up and stepping out and speaking up when I communicate with God on a daily basis. And then on a weekly basis, an hour. So an hour on Sunday, an hour on Monday. Monday is my business meeting with God. Sunday is my like life meeting with God. And then spending time every day. Like I spend 15 minutes every day journaling to and receiving communication from God. And that seems like a lot of time. And it is. And it's also like, it's the air that I breathe. If I didn't have that, I couldn't do this. And I wasn't doing this when I was not communicating with God regularly. Okay. I think that's it. I want you to see your homework, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to look at your chart and see what house your sun is sitting in. Comment below what house it is. And then see, like, take the next week and see how your voice shines in this area of your life. Or just claim it. Like, claim that it shines there. Okay. I love you. We will see you again next week. Bye.